So StyroPyro is apparently someone who built a long-range laser in their front yard. It's a turret, and everything about this title is scary to me. My mod Airier told me to react to this, and I'm not sure if this was a hint or not. You guys know the drill. Subscribe to John on YouTube, and let's get started.
Hey guys, it's Drake here. So I just bought this sketchy laser welding and cleaning system. I'm just dying to screw around with it.
Wait, it's a laser cleaning system? Okay, so he didn't build a laser. He actually bought hardware laser clean. Oh, no. Laser cleaning means it's a powerful enough laser that it could scour things. I don't know how detailed. I don't know anything about that. But I know if it's meant to actually clean things, it's probably meant for concrete to incinerate anything not concrete. I thought this might just be a stupid video, but now I'm thinking he actually made a viable laser weapon. You know, that joke earlier in the stream about becoming an accessory by viewing this, I don't know if that's a joke anymore. Oh God. Also, Michael Hamilton, printer, I am out of cyan. I know you were doing black and white, but out of cyan. Actually, that thing they do for a lot of black and white, they don't actually use black and white. They use all the colors combined to make black. You know, the normal choice. Hate printers.
Now this thing has an output power of 2,000 watts, which will make it the strongest CW laser I've shown you guys yet. How do I really have enough things to clean and weld?
To give context there, I'm running a 4090. It does not draw 2,000 watts. When it spikes, and the overpowered PC that I no longer have because it was 13900K and it started crashing, it would draw enough to get me up to a total PC power combined of maybe 1,000 watts, maybe 1,200 if it spiked, if I didn't have restrictors in there. This is double on just a standard draw, which means that there might be spikes higher. I don't know how regulated this is, but...
To justify buying this thing? Of course not. I just want to screw around with a kilowatt class laser system.
Multi-kilowatt.
Seriously, this thing's approaching military levels of power and fun.
That's not a joke. There are actually military laser weapons. I only know about the demonstration they did roughly a decade ago, but it basically was a truck-sized battery pack. And by truck, I mean a civilian-grade Dodge truck, not a Jeep, because apparently they do trucks too, and they're all the same company, but whatever. And it could shoot a missile out of the sky at range after like 5 seconds of being on it, which doesn't sound like a lot, and for military purposes, it's not. But also, it's a real thing, so lovely.
And plus, with some additional optics, I'm hoping to convert it into a long-range directed energy device. Oh, I have a ton of mischief planned for this laser. Now first, I
should probably introduce the stream. Hi everyone, welcome to War Crimes.
gotta give credit where it's due here. I only bought this thing after watching the Backyard Scientist video on a similar Chinese-made system. I had seen these systems advertised online, but I didn't believe the power claims. His video showed me that I was wrong, and that fiber laser tech is simply more affordable now. You should definitely watch his video, because he did some pretty creative...
Did he just burn the ink off paper? That's actually kind of fascinating because this is actually a cloth fiber behind it from sheep.
stuff with his system. Anyway, it's my turn to abuse one of these systems. But before I convert this thing into something that'll put me on another watch list, I should test out its intended...
Another? You know, this is usually where someone says, I'm on a watch list, and it's a joke. You just bought a multi-kilowatt laser. You are on that list already, man. Oh, God.
functions first. Can I really use this thing to strip off rust using nothing but light? One way to find out.
I mean, that's one way to get it 10.
Let's see how well it can clean this rusty air cleaner. Here we go.
Little laser.
Am I supposed to, like, wave it around or something? Oh.
That is a hole through metal. Okay. Yeah. It got rid of the rust and everything else underneath it, and it looks like part of the concrete. This is without him touching it at all. Also, Lord of Floss, you mentioned that lasering the money is illegal. Yeah, it is. But it's one of those things of, it's a single dollar bill. The most they do is just a quick call and say, hey, don't do that.
Oh, wow, it's literally melting the concrete. That's amazing.
Oh, God, it did. You could actually see it.
Amazing. Oh, duh. I was probably supposed to use a non-zero scan width. It would have helped if this thing came with a manual. Let's try that again. Ha, there we go.
Oh, he made a bigger hole than I originally thought. It's more powerful. This is both the coolest thing I have ever seen and one of the legitimately most terrifying things I have ever seen. What the hell, man? I'm just going to tell myself this is YouTube generated AI bullshit because I don't want to believe it's real, but I think it might be real.
Great job at cleaning off the rust. Look how shiny that is.
You could see melted rock. Admittedly, that'd actually be a really cool way to do a sculpture if you actually lasered off sections rather than chiseled it. Is there someone who sculpts with lasers? Because that sounds like the absolute most metal thing ever, and I kind of want to find out it's real.
This is a great opportunity to clean one of my favorite barrels. It's gotten quite rusty recently.
How fast can it cut in half?
Use a shine up. Oh, that is satisfying. Now I gotta say,
this man is a mad scientist. And yeah, he's literally just melting through it. Oh, okay. Above average gaming. There's a guy who made music with lasers. I think it's the synth wave thing. I've seen the actual machine itself. I don't remember where though.
Shocked how bright that beam is in person. Now the laser light is actually completely invisible, and my goggles block it anyway, but it's heating up particles in the air to a white-hot incandescence.
For a translation, what he said is, the beam is invisible. The dust it literally burns out of existence is what you see. Also, he's in a very dusty place for there to be that much. Oh, dust explosions are a thing. This is a very dangerous weapon around anyone who hasn't cleaned their house because it would probably ignite the dust. Like, literally, what you're seeing is not a laser beam. You're seeing the burning dust in the air. Oh, God. And Michael Hamilton, 1, thank you. 2, there are chainsaw sculptors, so anything is possible. Wait, they can sculpt with chainsaws? How do they get the blades not to jam up all the time? That's actually impressive in its own right.
And that's what's giving that air glow. That's pretty terrifying.
Yes!
Let's see how well the laser can strip off paint. Wow, look at that. It even left...
You could see it damaged the metal underneath the paint.
The surface beneath shiny.
This isn't the weapon he made. This is just figuring out the
paint and
standard
rust?
usage.
Well, when there's so much power being blasted into such a small area, the surface will literally explode off, and this effect is called laser ablation. In fact, the power density is so high here that it makes the core of a nuclear reactor seem tame in comparison. Slow-mo shows that the laser is actually scanning as opposed to producing a continuous line, which maximizes the power density and ablates the material most effectively. In the case of rust, there's some cool chemistry going on as well. I have some red iron oxide here.
Hi everyone, as a 40K fan, I think we have found a lasgun. They just take a backpack. Tempest, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships. For everyone else who is now a co-conspirator to this apparently very public criminal action. I don't think anything he's doing is illegal. That's the thing, because I don't think there's any regulations yet about laser weaponry. I feel like I need to pinch myself on this one. And Brett called it a 3D unprinter. Okay, kudos for that one. What the actual fuck, man?
Which is the main component of rust. It's only barely affected by this strong magnet.
Yeah?
Now let me hit it with a laser. The magnet is covered in powder now, and blobs of the dark product keep flying towards it as they...
Because when they were burned down, they liquefied, so their disorganized state was allowed to be drawn in and remagnetized by the magnetic force. It's kind of like when you hit something metal long enough, it can become magnetic temporarily. Also, lasers are explosive. Good to know. Sorry, ablative explosions.
Cool. This happens because the red iron oxide was reduced to black iron oxide, which is much more ferromagnetic. This reaction only occurs at very high temperatures, which means the laser is really cooking here. Clearly,
it lit the board on fire.
Up to absurd temperatures. So now I'm curious to see what all I can burn with it.
I think I realize this guy's entire shtick. He's very much the, wow, this is dangerous. What would happen if I put more gasoline inside the rocket? Maybe some nitrous, maybe a nuclear reactor. What if I put little spikes on it? This is fun. I'm getting mad scientist vibes. Oh God. Also, Lord of Hollows, we will make an orbital laser. Oddly enough, from what I've heard, just basic cloud density is enough to block a laser because it adds enough particles in the way to disperse any laser from any usable amount. The same would also be true for a dust storm.
I've got a piece of steel plate here. Let's see if the laser can burn through it.
Yep. Yeah, it's through. That was less than a second. Again, this is just testing the pre-packaged cleaning device. This is a cleaning device. Brought to you for the same people who thought mixing bleach and ammonia was a really great way to quiet children, as a way to help nap time at schools. You know, as stupid as it is, there's probably at least one person out there who tried that, and why? So what he's about to do after this is to make a laser turret, an actual weapon. So everything we're seeing right now is as weak as it's going to get. Oh boy. I don't think this is a watch list. I think he probably just has cops parked outside of his house waiting for the inevitable day he makes a bomb.
Oh wow, that didn't take long at all. Let's try a piece of drywall.
Instant.
Jeez. I would have expected the gypsum in there to hold up better, since it has a high melting point and it's also quite reflective. But obviously, it's not nearly enough to stop the laser.
If he gets a thing of marble, I would love to see how that works.
Maybe this fire brick can hold up to the beam.
Nope. Too porous. Oh, it actually stopped for a second. If that.
I'll take that as a no. So, how well do you think a mirror can defeat this laser? Oh, this could end horribly.
Not well.
Oh, that was actually easy. Let's try something a bit more challenging.
Oh, it actually held up for a bit.
These mirrors are a great example of how every bit of reflectance matters when working with powerful lasers.
So it's one that is so incredibly bright just on the screen right now. At some point, super shiny sci-fi spandex reflective everything is going to become an actual safety precaution. The spandex because someone will think to do it. The reflective because it actually might be necessary. That is a very big hole going all the way through. Actually, I wonder if there's a way to make a segmented mirror that would diffract it enough that it wouldn't actually burn through it. Again, this is just the cleaning version. Whatever comes next might be worse. Oh, God. Also, tan wall banks, sorry. Your face is on fire. Yes, is much faster than shaving. The guy who made the cleaning device probably. You know, if you could regulate it just to take that first layer off, there's times where I might actually be okay with it because fuck having to shave, man. I mean, you would only have to ever do it once because you'd be dead because you literally burned your face off. But it's the small sacrifices you have to make to not dealing with shavers anymore.
Absorbing a few % of incident light may not seem like much, but this is a 2,000 watt laser, so a few % of that is more than enough to obliterate that thin reflective coating, as well as take out the glass in the process.
It got so hot after he stopped shooting it, it expanded enough to internally destabilize and broke. Because the cooldown process was enough to throw it off. I think we need multi-paned windows now.
I've got some thermite here. Now,
Why?
this to ignite that you can actually buy it pre-mixed and have it shipped to you without crazy restrictions. Typically, you need a special mix to get it to start burning, but I'm wondering if the laser spot can get hot enough on its own. Alright, here we go. It lit instantly.
He is in a field with dead leaves and a wooden house and nearby trees and wooden fencing with a pot of thermite and a laser. I take back what I said earlier. This guy is not on a watch list. He doesn't have police waiting for him to initially build something. They've probably cordoned off his entire property and asked people to move out of an impending blast radius and just are hoping right now that that's far enough because any other precaution or moving to Iowa is not going to be enough.
That's impressive. I need to point out that this thing is not a typical welding hood. It's specifically a laser welding hood. And yes, this distinction is extremely important when it comes to protecting your eyesight. When lightning strikes...
Can we all acknowledge right now it's not the eyesight he should be waiting for? It's like having a brain when it goes through your gray matter, because I don't think anything of you is going to block a laser better than a freaking steel plate. And Michael Hamilton, well, thermite is in medical storage? Really? Oh, I did not actually realize that. Huh.
Sand. It melts into a channel of glass called a fulgurite. Now I want to see if this laser can do something similar. I'm hoping this white sand can absorb enough light to melt. And
it's just going to explode.
Go.
Yep. Also, he mentioned a fulgurite because it's a channel of superheated sand into glass. The more common way to create that unintentionally would be lightning strikes on the beach or places where that would be possible. Mostly lightning is just the easiest way that wouldn't involve really horrible things happening.
Oh yeah, it definitely melted.
You can see the heat radiating
Look at
from
that.
it.
Made a nice little glass column there. The outer surface is crumbly, but the inside seems pretty solid. Now it looks even cooler when illuminated with a visible laser beam. I like that. Other forms of glass have been so easy to melt that I figured fiberglass might be interesting. And sure enough, the laser was able to compactify it into a little bead.
Glass cotton candy. Oh. Michael Hamilton. It's a Dead Space or Alien game reference? Oh. Yeah, see, I don't know anything about Dead Space or Alien games. Alien because I'm a coward, and Dead Space because I'm also a coward, and don't have any hand-eye coordination.
This laser is great at cleaning iron, so I can't help but wonder if it can clean sodium metal as well.
What?
This stuff is nice and shiny when it's freshly cut, but it quickly oxidizes in air. I'm hoping the laser beam can strip off the oxides faster than they form. This seems
I've
like
never
a
even
bad
heard of
idea.
this.
Whatever. Ooh, I like the pretty flashes of yellow light there. That's nice. I'm not sure if it's actually doing anything, though. Oh yeah, it looks worse than when I started. Oh, that sucks.
You could see it melting. Oh. Oh, God.
Sucks.
I mean, you can cut it with
I guess
the
I'll just try
knife,
drilling a
so.
hole through it instead. Wow, this stuff is surprisingly resistant to the light. It's barely doing anything. Oh, heck. It melted. Oh no, it went under the leaves too. Oh, that's a problem. Well, it's worth a try at least. See ya.
How is this man still alive? And then he knew it was going to catch on fire because he threw the water onto it. I just... Some people stage videos. I'm just going to tell myself right now that he's staging it because the alternative is that he didn't. And this is legitimate. I think we need to find out where he lives to avoid that section of any country for safety reasons. Like maybe advise flights overhead to not go in that direction. Oh, God. This is legitimately insane.
Alright, I've got one more thing I want to try burning. This is a rod of tungsten, which has the highest melting point of the metallic elements. Let's see how well it holds up to the laser.
What do they put into nuclear cores to cool them down? I don't actually know. I don't want to look up in case it's tungsten because this would terrify me more if that's the case.
Oh, it's drilling into it. Oh wow, that's incredible. Hitting tungsten with the laser produces a ton of blue light. Now, I'm not sure if that's because of tungsten atomic emission, or if the plasma jet there is simply blue hot.
It is so hot, either the metal or the air around it is still combusting after he stopped shooting with a laser. I did not think I was too sober for this, but apparently I am. This is both fascinating and terrifying. And Hobbit, you said it's beware a death ray sign? Yeah, that'd be accurate. And it's carbon rods, Michael Hamilton? Oh, okay, that would do it. And Daneth Rabbit, they appear very performative and aware. Honestly, yeah, he's definitely playing up the mad scientist angle. Which is good, because that actually makes me believe he's more conscious of just what the hell he's doing. Because if he was like, hey, let's find out what we're doing, and was more nonchalant, I mean, I would still be just as scared as I am now, but I'd be less confident that he's aware it's dangerous and more certain that at the end of the video, it's going to be someone saying, and this is where we had to continue the video after it exploded on his face. For his final wish, we are completing his project. Because I would expect that at the end otherwise. As opposed to now where I'm also still expecting it.
Regardless, the metal is hot enough to keep burning even after removing the beam. That's awesome.
Forbidden sparkler.
Well, I mean, burning stuff up close is fun and all, but I want to burn stuff way off in the distance. Now, unfortunately, the beam spreads out too rapidly to be much of a fire hazard from very far.
But
although this problem can be fixed. Contrary to popular belief, laser beams do not travel straight. Thanks to diffraction, a laser beam traveling even through empty space is going to spread out.
You can I don't know what I just paused on. Okay.
Which means its burning ability shrinks rapidly from the source. It is physically impossible to completely overcome this.
That is a giant moth. Or a butterfly, but I think it's a moth. God damn.
However, there are ways to minimize it, and my favorite way is using a 400-year-old invention. Way back in 1609, Galileo built the first refracting telescope to magnify images of distant objects like planets.
So it literally converges. It focuses it down instead of putting your eye at the other end. You put whatever you want to not alive at the other end.
The magnification achieved is simply the ratio of the lens focal lengths. Now, if you take one of these telescopes and flip it around, it acts as a way to widen a laser beam.
And functionally, I thought that's how they would do the pattern, not just going back and forth. I'm kind of... Because if they had put that in the program in there, normally people could weaponize it much easier. Yeah.
This makes the beam spread out less, which increases burning ability downrange. It looks like I'll be building a telescope. This isn't my first time combining a laser with a telescope. 5 years
Oh, lovely! He took an actual gun handle and decided to make it a laser. I was joking about a lasgun early on. This is literally just that. He literally just built a lasgun. Hi, everyone. I'm starting my own 40K army, but I didn't want to play with the miniatures. I wanted to do it in real life. Here's the first weaponized segment. Sure! Honestly, if you have a rangefinder in there with an actual little small non-burny laser, that would probably let you know at what level to automatically correlate the lasers at, so they would burn exactly where you want. It's like, the enemy's at this distance, so we should arrange the lens to dilate the light to the correct distance. Everything I just said is bullshit, except it might actually be the future, and this terrifies me, but it's also kind of cool.
years ago, I built my laser telescope blaster, and I'll be building a similar PVC barreled adjustable scope for this laser as well. The main difference with this one is that the source laser here is 2,000 times more powerful. Between some dubious napkin math and the only suitable optics that I can find on eBay, I threw together this cursed thing. In theory, this scope will increase the downrange burning ability by a factor of 200.
We have reached Laser Bazooka. I'm not sure who had that on their 2024 bingo cards, but we now have Laser Bazooka. And this came out 7 months ago, so it would be within this year. And yeah, you just add any computer with a laser rangefinder in here to automatically calibrate it. And it would be able to know exactly how far and how strong to generate the laser. So you could swing it around, and if it goes fast enough, you could just have a laser that burns what it hits at the exact perfect range immediately, because it'd be working at computational power. The only real time loss would be how fast the computation needs to be done and how fast it can accurately move the cylinders for that type of accuracy. Kamen Hal? Lasgun when? I think Lasgun now. And Hobbit, one, thank you, too. You're sounding very unenthusiastic about Imperial weapons, R&D. I'm going to have to report this to the Commissar. We must encourage all development. I mean, yes, it is a great development. I'm glad we have literal store-bought lasers that we can all have anywhere. Oh, God. We're going to hear about this in the news, aren't we? Someone's going to start hunting with this.
Although reality won't be quite so high. Even so, I'm expecting an impressive range from this combo. I'm gonna start with something close and work my way out. Alright, here we go. Yeah, I didn't really need the telescope for that. Let's double the distance for this shot. Here I have some spicy chemicals that I want to try igniting.
What happens if he misses and hits the water behind him? Fire Titan, is this even legal? I don't know. But the thing is, he's not using weaponry. He's using PVC pipes and an industrial cleaner. Not chemical cleaner either. So there is a very good chance nothing he is doing is against the law in any way, shape, or form, or would count as a firearm, even though it is literally something you are armed with that causes fire. It's kind of like how flamethrowers can be a tool to clean away snow if you want to do it that way.
Alright, this one shouldn't be too bad.
We've already seen this man light his lawn on fire multiple times. I'm assuming they have a box of sand behind them just to put out anything that actually catches.
Gosh, it's hard to aim this thing.
Yeah!
Extending the distance once again.
Actually, I think he does actually need a legitimate laser sight on this thing. Oh my god. Hey, what's even funnier with your laser? I put a laser on the laser. With the side of a laser for laser range finding even. So one laser to show you where you're at, one laser to find out how far away it is, and one laser to actually fire a laser. Everything I just said sounds like it should be a joke, but legitimately it's actually not a bad design. Also, the reason I mentioned hitting the water is because it looks like it might be frozen, so I'm wondering what it would do to ice.
I'm gonna try setting this block of cardboard on fire. Gosh, this one's gonna be hard. Am I hitting it? Gosh, it's so hard.
He's just hitting all of the ground. Like, you could actually see the burn in the grass.
Hard to aim this thing. Oh.
I can burn the rock.
Well, he burned the rock. No, he got the cardboard.
Wow. Yeah, this thing is not easy to aim. It looks like I'll run into trouble trying to hit things much further than this. This isn't like a shooty stick where the aim only needs to be correct the moment the trigger's pulled. The laser has to be held steady long enough for the target to heat up. If you've ever tried free-handing a laser pointer on a far wall, you'll see it's hard to keep a small spot held on the target. I guess I need some added stability.
You see what I add a gyroscopic function? You know, actually, if you put this on a gimbal with a battery pack for powering it, and specifically a gimbal like they have on some cameras right now for a smooth shot, this actually looks like a very easily man-portable weapon if they have an adequate power pack. It's probably the power pack that's the biggest restriction here. And Inquisitor, imagine using this in a firework warehouse. Oh, God. I mean, considering he was in a place so dusty you could actually see the beam completely illuminated, he's only a few steps away from that at this point.
Thankfully, my sponsor FlexiSpot sent me just what I needed with their C7 chair and E7 Plus desk combo.
I have to assume they knew giving this guy something would be to use it in the most impractical way possible. But I'm also wondering, is like, okay, how do we want to show off this desk? Let's use it to make weapons, is not how they thought it was going to go.
The ultimate stability of the E7 Plus desk allows me to make more distant shots with the laser, and I can do it while experiencing a whole new level of comfort in the C7 chair. This isn't the first time FlexiSpot sent me an adjustable desk for a project. I recently refinished their E7Q desk with a century-old chemical-resistant stain, and then zapped it with one of the most powerful tube-driven Tesla coils in the world. Astonishingly, the onboard electronics were completely unharmed by this.
What's the downside? Because that actually sounds amazing. Also, what the hell, man? I just realized he has a Tesla generator to make the lightning go off. He put a freaking screwdriver in it. What the actual hell, man?
The new E7 Plus desk here is a more affordable version that keeps the four-leg design, and although I have yet to zap this one with 100,000 volts, I can attest to its stability. As for making even more distant shots with the laser, this is where the C7 chair comes in. I wanted an easily movable platform, so I rebuilt a C7 chair to hold a gearbox as well as the telescope. But because the
You know, MIT with their robot dog design is suing people for using it as a weapon, which has not worked at all. I don't want to believe that the companies sending him things would think, hey, what happens if we send a mad scientist a chair? Is he going to use it to make a laser weapon? Nah, that's crazy. Laser weapon chair. Sure. If it's good enough to commit war crimes, it's good enough to sit in. What the actual hell, man?
The chair was so comfy, I decided I'd rather actually sit in the chair. So I rebuilt it and brought it up into a tower with the laser.
There's the turret.
Now I can blast the laser over some impressive distances in luxury. What I like about the C7 is that it stands out with exceptional lumbar support that can be adjusted to however I like to sit.
Whether I'm working on something that might be considered a war crime, or when I'm just actively committing them, or defending my property from rabid monsters who need to be shown a lesson with good old ingenuity. I have never been terrified of the sponsor segment before.
It also has an impressive recline span going from 90 all the way to 128 degrees.
And you mentioned this, perfect for the chair force. Yeah, but usually when they have a chair force, it's just a reference to pilots or, drone pilots. Instead of, using the chair as the weapon. Sure, why not? Ooh, and V10, or BGC V10. It has been an eternity since you caught me streaming. Yeah, I know. I've only really started doing non-game streams recently, and honestly, it's fun to do these.
Plus, the cushion itself is adjustable, both forwards and backwards along with tilt. It's a super comfy chair to sit in.
Okay, he has an adorable kitty.
The C7 pairs well with the
I just
E7
want
Plus
food.
desk, and nearly all the optical and electronic work for this video has been done on this E7 Plus here. This combo makes a great daily setup as well, and as we go into the new year, this is a great opportunity to upgrade our desk setups, just like I've done here. Whether you need a better work from home setup or simply a comfy place to look at memes, a quality desk.
Ah, yes, memes. Normie. Yes, no. Do you want to know what it is? No? Normie. Yes, Normie. He literally put a spreadsheet for memes and how to react to them. This video is from about 9 months ago. No, was it 7? No, 7 months ago. I haven't checked to see if he's made any other videos after this. I'm assuming one of them is going to be, so I had to escape the cops, and now there's no one left alive. At some point, that is going to be where this goes. Please change my mind. That's not a meme. That's not a joke. I want someone to change my mind. This is terrifying. What the hell is going on?
Setup is invaluable.
Is he just going to ask for like $1 million from Congress not to burn the moon?
And $30 with C7 300. No minimum amount required. So yeah, thanks to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video.
He literally has it on axes to change the rotation.
In order to have a better vantage point, I built this tower for blasting the laser.
Wait, he's shooting a random laser around when there's a kitty. Is he going to have the cat chase the molten laser of death? I want to say no. I'm not sure I can say no. Also, Michael Hamilton, all mad scientists have to cats so they can pet them threateningly. Unlike The Godfather, where that was actually a stray that just walked into the chute and he just started petting the cat as it went. Yeah, that just happened.
This angle ensures that the ground terminates the beam and prevents the ray of destruction from leaving my property. Unfortunately, I didn't get in many tests before my scope burned up. The mirror in the welding head reset itself off axis, scorching the PVC and optics. I ended up cutting the wires to the mirror motor to prevent this from happening again. While waiting on my replacement optics to arrive, I threw together a less impressive scope with lenses I had on hand, and I climbed back up the tower on a foggy evening to test it out. I decided to try out my camera in full spectrum mode, and
Ooh, that's actually pretty cool. 2, I'm actually curious to see how the fog will interact with the laser.
I was stunned by the result. My camera is only weakly sensitive to this laser's wavelength, yet it still managed to unveil the actual beast at hand. Even without careful focusing.
Okay. I will fully admit, I just got goosebumps seeing that. There's just something about the night vision spectrum look and a giant freaking laser that is absolutely awesome. As terrifying as this is, and it is terrifying, this is also really cool.
The laser can easily set fire to my fence about 70 meters in the distance. Clearly, the backup scope is
You
still
need a
worth
new one
playing around
anyways.
with for the time being.
I think it would be fun to try shooting a hole through the door on that truck back there. Well, not that one. I like that old semi. It's that one back there that's the old junker.
Okay, now we're proving we can actually attack vehicles with this one. On foggy days, even. Also, Inquisitor, you said I should check out the Storyteller series by Shoddycast. I think people have recommended that one before, but I don't actually know anything about it.
And here we go.
So far, it's burning a little.
Is it doing anything? Oh yeah, I see something lighting up there. Oh, it's definitely burning at least. Wonder if it's actually enough to cut through the steel.
Better question, how fast would it cut through the window? Because it's tempered, it's at angle, it looks like it's fogged over, so it wouldn't be as reflective. How fast can you fuck someone over by driving a car and shooting them with a laser? I'm mostly curious now for a morbid fascination more than anything else.
Let's take a look at the damage.
Did
Oh
it
yeah,
go
it definitely drilled through
through?
there. That's impressive.
After the fog lifted, I switched back to filming invisible light
What
mode
is
on
that
my
can?
camera, which means the laser is back to being invisible the way it is in real life.
Oh, okay, it was
I found
explosive.
this bottle of trash in my basement when I moved in.
Stonehill? What? Is that a wine? Has a plastic lid? That seems wrong. Missouri carbonated. Wait, you carbonate wine outside of champagne? Why? Volume leader, Branson. 11% alcohol. Oh, God.
Trash in my basement when I moved in. It looks like the mice chewed up the top a bit, but I think it's still pressurized. So yeah, I want to try blowing it up with the laser. Please put me out of my Missouri.
Alright, hope I didn't blow it up with a test shot there. But there's that bottle of nasty wine.
So who wants to bet he loses the camera because the explosive properties of alcohol, even at 11%, will fuck over this very expensive camera. Also, just to give credit here, the camera is probably a couple $1,000s. The lens is probably another digit on top of that.
And here we go. Oh, I missed.
He's burning the glass, and the glass
Cool.
broke off. Oh! Because the wine was underneath it, he never actually ignited the alcohol. He just broke the glass. Oh, okay. Yeah, that would do it. Because the glass shattered based on the temperature.
That's hilarious. Just burnt the top off. I'm not gonna lie. This feels like the kind of thing that they make new laws about.
Yes! Yes, it does feel that way! Honestly, I'm completely expecting, having watched this, there is going to be a press release. Actually, let's just check the comments. When was there a law passed? And the first one is FlexiSpot. Cheers, Drake. Thanks once again for the stability and high quality of our product in your wild and scientific manner. Yeah, because nothing says I want to sponsor you like creating things that need to have laws passed against them. Hi, everyone. I'm from FlexiSpot. We're so good. Even a mad scientist chooses our brand. Admittedly, it's good marketing. It's why NASCAR has a lot of really high-end innovations that become standard practices. Because if it's good enough for NASCAR, it's good enough for a regular consumer to pay a couple $1,000 extra for it. It's less of a product now just to increase price, where before it was actually how you got cars running. It was based on how they raced. And granted, the people they were racing for were usually smuggling alcohol during Prohibition, but we'll ignore that part. And Michael Hamilton's storyteller is like, press start to laugh only with just Fallout. I don't know what press start to laugh is either. So I can't really say anything about that. Yeah, I should probably find out.
Let's see if I can open a can of soda from this distance as well.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's
Nailed
open.
it.
I love how from this view, the can of soda seems to explode for no reason at all. That's crazy.
Oh God, I just realized if there's not enough dust in the air to become visible and it's bright enough, it would actually be invisible. Okay. I'm going to save the rest of this video for another day because I think at this point I've incriminated myself enough watching this, and also I kind of want to save it because it's so freaking cool, but also more than a little terrifying because he hasn't tried to soup up the laser itself yet. I think at this point that's the only place it has left to go. So I'm going to go, walk away, delete my browsing history, and pretend I never watched this at any shape or form or time, and whenever the cops ask, I saw nothing. Yeah. This is not terrifying at all. Also, Michael Hamilton mentioned you put a playlist in Discord. Ooh, thank you. So for everyone watching, thanks. I'm now terrified, but also really excited. I don't know which one is the more prominent emotion at this point. Either way, though, I'm going to subscribe and leave a like on this guy because that's awesome and terrifying. Very, very terrifying. Oh, God. Again, just to reiterate, he bought a cleaning supply. This is a cleaning supply with Amazon purchased lenses and PVC piping. God damn. So yeah, if you haven't, there's a link below to the video. Hit it up. And I'll see you guys in the next one.